Hello everyone. Markets are falling, crypto is getting dumped on, but don't worry. Don't worry. This is just a normal, healthy market exhale. We're gonna go higher. Log off of X, stop watching these clickbaity videos that have blood red thumbnails with some dude screaming in the thumbnail and the market crashing because Bitcoin has fallen 5%. I mean, I get it. To grow your YouTube channel these days, you have to use embellished titles and draw some kind of, strong emotions to get people to click on your videos and get those juicy views. It's just the name of the game. But here are the facts, okay? Market is nowhere near a top, so don't panic. Don't let the fear and the fake outrage of inexperienced young investors on this platform or other platforms make you mistakenly sell your bags too early, just so that they can harvest some views from you. We got a while to go in this bull market, in crypto and in stocks. And in this video, I'm gonna show you why. And stick around to the end of the video for 3 tips to help you avoid selling your bags because of emotional and inexperienced social media panic. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Patrick. I've been an investor for over a decade, an options trader for 7 years, and in crypto for 7 years. I've grown a portfolio to over $250,000, and I run Apex Wealth Collective, a school community for investors where you can follow my portfolio journey and experience it with me firsthand. If you've been around YouTube for the last few years, you would have seen an absolute explosion in crypto and investing content. However, unfortunately, a lot of the thumbnails and titles use many emotional and psychological tactics to manipulate you into a fearful state and will get you to click on their video. I'm guilty of making these emotional headlines too, and so is everyone else on this platform. That's just the name of the game to stand out these days. You sink or you swim. But the problem is that these videos, for the most part, prey on fear and pushing you to make impulsive decisions. Take a look at these thumbnails and titles that I found just looking at the first page of crypto video results from today. It's nothing but clickbaity fear. It's a little exhausting hearing these gurus say that the end is coming every single day. I've seen way too many people sell their Bitcoin at $20,000 because of the embellished, oh my God, this end of crypto, Bitcoin's collapsing videos with that face in the thumbnail, only to watch it hit, 60,000 later that year, and then 100,000, and then 120,000. Don't be that person. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay informed for more investing tips that cut through the noise. So let's get into the alpha for today. So first up, and this is always the chart I'm going to start the alpha with. It's the ISM chart, the Institute of Supply Management, which is known for producing the ISM Manufacturing Index, which is a key economic indicator of manufacturing activity in the US. Now, hate the US or love the US, it doesn't matter. When the US market sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. And when the US snorts a line of liquidity, the rest of the world catches the high. The US market dominates a lot of economic activity around the world, which is why we pay such close attention to it. Now, we just printed a 48.7 from August 2025, which is higher than the previous 48 that we had last month. This is looking good, as we are potentially going across 50 soon, which would indicate economic expansion and liquidity expansion as a result. So altcoins famously explode once ISM prints above and maintains a 50 print. So pay attention to this chart at the beginning of every single month going forward. And next, we have the most important chart in macro outside of ISM, in my opinion. If there's one chart to follow, it is this one from Raul Pal at Real Vision. His work is extraordinary and has saved and made me a ton of gains over the last 5 years in crypto. And this chart is the pinnacle of all of that research that he's done. And as you can see in history, Bitcoin's price action has followed global M2 very, very closely, with about an 80 to 90 day lag. Now, what is global M2? Simply put, it's all the liquidity being printed into the system globally. The more money gets printed, the more fiat currencies get debased worldwide, the more Bitcoin goes up because of its fixed supply. And as Raul has stated, this correlation since inception of Bitcoin has been 85 to 90% accurate. And with the NASDAQ, even closer. This correlation to global M2 for the NASDAQ has been at like 95%, sometimes 97% correlation. As you can see, there are periods or pockets where Bitcoin deviates from this correlation. And right now is one of those times. But it always catches back up to the trend of global M2. And those catch-up periods can be very quick and very violent once the repricing actually happens. So expect volatility and more upside for Bitcoin coming soon. Next up, was one of Raul's follow-up tweets to the last one we just looked at. And it basically overlays today's price action of Bitcoin versus the price action of Bitcoin back in 2017, around the same time in the bull market cycle. Now, the similarities are a little crazy. So if this trend continues, we are going to see Bitcoin a lot higher by the end of this year and into the first quarter of 2026. Remember, these correlations are just contextualizations for why we could be going higher and where those patterns could emerge from. You know, these correlations don't always last, but if they do, this is what you can expect. Now, next up is a tweet from a famous crypto bull named Dan Tapiero. If you don't know Dan, he's a very famous investor for catching Bitcoin and Ethereum super early and still holding a huge portfolio of them. He's been on the forefront of crypto alpha and one of the people to listen to when it comes to macro market trends. Now, here in this tweet, he is showing the crypto market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So pretty much a crypto market cap for altcoins. The biggest technical triangle breakout waiting to happen in altcoins. So if you are a holder of altcoins and are quickly losing patience with seeing your altcoins show no performance over the last 3 years, just give it some time. Altcoins do nothing for extraordinary periods of time and then explode with gains for a few weeks, if not a month or two at max at the end of bull market cycles. So be patient. The rewards are coming if you are in altcoins that have network effects and use of the actual network. And next up, a tweet from Marty Party, another great follow for Crypto Alpha on X. Here, Marty is showing the absolute explosion of growth in crypto stablecoin market cap. We have hit almost 300 billion in stablecoins, and this is only going to explode higher as crypto as an asset class matures. So we need liquidity of fiat currencies on these networks in order to see adoption from large institutions and enterprises and banks and governments. And as stablecoin issuance grows, so does liquidity and so does crypto market cap. There are actually a few different macro investors who believe that if it won't be the Fed that saves the market with injection of liquidity, but rather stablecoin issuers on these crypto networks that will drive a lot of end cycle liquidity into this asset class. So watch out for this. Then we have this beautiful chart that shows others, which is the altcoin market versus ETH. And as we can see, since ETH took off earlier this year from its massive drops in price, it has rebounded, and because its rebound has been so violent, ETH siphoned a lot of the market's liquidity going up, including altcoins. So as you can see, as ETH rebounded from its lows, altcoins took a massive tumble the entire time. And now altcoins sit at one of the most oversold positions in pretty much this entire bull market. Last time altcoins were this oversold was in 2021, before that cycle's major altcoin rally. Now, lastly, for today's alpha session, we have a list of 30 different popular indicators that many macro investors use to see if the market is overheated and near a top, or if we are at a bottom or somewhere in the middle. Now, we are at pretty much stone cold bottom right now. Not a single one of these 30 indicators that technically help mark a top in markets has been hit. Not a single one. We have a long way to go before we start seeing any significant number of these indicators get hit with marking a top. So with this alpha, if you're going to take anything away from it, just understand this. We are going higher. That's it. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, altcoins, and probably a bunch of useless meme coins too, all going higher. You're about to see people make some stupid gains. And just practice some patience. I will keep making these videos to keep you updated. And if you join my school community, you can stay up to date to the minute when I buy or when I sell positions from my portfolio. So just remember to take profits this cycle, because if you don't, you will be left holding the bag and losing everything you worked for these last few years, killing your portfolio returns. Now, yes, selling too early can kill your portfolio returns. We all know that. Crypto is volatile, sure, but history shows that holding through the noise often pays off. Easier said than done. I get it, right? Bitcoin dropped to like 3,000 in 2018 and people sold in a panic at the bottom. Again, because of all the noise from inexperienced investors on social media. Those who held, they saw 60,000, 70,000 in 2021, and now north of 100,000 after crashing to 20,000 in 2023. Now, embellished YouTube fear videos make you focus on these short-term dips and corrections instead of the long-term trend. When you sell early, you lock in those losses and you miss the recoveries to new all-time highs. So how do you avoid this trap? Let's get to the good stuff and talk about the 3 things you should do to not get tricked into selling your bags too early. Number 1, filter your sources. Twitter used to be a very good place for crypto alpha. Not so much anymore. It's a lot of noise these days. So stick to trusted sources on YouTube or X that have a long track record of at least 2 or more market cycles in crypto or stocks, whichever world you're in. Not just these loudmouth creators who one day say Bitcoin's going to 500K and then the next that Bitcoin is going to 0 and that it's all over, depending on how green or red that day is. So I personally tend to stay away from the big channels, like the coin desks, like the Wendy O's, the coin bureaus, Lark Davis's, or Crypto Banter, because they typically have some kind of, either shady sponsorship deals, some paid advertisement incentive to talk about certain topics with a certain bias. Look for the ones who aren't upselling sponsors like it's an infomercial, and keep their videos pretty clean without a lot of external influence. And if they do have sponsors, check their history to make sure they are legit products, companies, and influencers that are generally trusted by the community. Some examples of personal choices of channels that I tend to listen to include the following. So first and foremost, majority of my alpha comes from Ruel Pal and Real Vision. For general market trends and market outlook, Ruel has been part of the scene for a decade or longer and has made some astounding calls and made his community a lot of money. He caught Bitcoin very early on, Solana very early on, and now Sui, which will probably be another big hit because of his track record. It doesn't miss. Next, another couple, Invest Answers and Marty Party. These two run a weekly podcast together with a few other investors in the space called the DCA Podcast, without any sponsors, and they talk raw market data. They have caught many investments super early, including Tesla, Nvidia, Bitcoin, Solana, and MicroStrategy. I'm pretty sure Invest Answers has already gained like a 30x on his MicroStrategy position. It's pretty crazy. Marty Party is a great follow on X because he frequently posts short-term liquidation levels for crypto trading pairs for different crypto assets and keeps people off the ledge when markets get a little hairy by showing you the cold hard data behind it. And number 2, you want to zoom out on the charts. Don't get suckered by daily price swings. Look at weekly or monthly charts to see the bigger picture. Always stay in the bigger picture. Crypto is volatile, but long-term trends often reward patience. So use free tools like TradingView to keep perspective. Problem with a lot of content on YouTube is that it targets the daily price swings and creates emotional titles and thumbnails based off of those moves to reel you in pretty much. It is easy and cheap views, which is why a lot of crypto YouTubers focus on it. And then they never have to make any real content other than scare you every time Bitcoin has a normal healthy correction. But typically, a lot of these investors or these YouTubers don't do very well from a track record perspective. So stay away from the channels, always focusing on bearish news and market crashes, because there is a famous saying in investing: bears sound smart, but optimists make a lot of money. And number 3, this one's very simple. Take breaks. It is very easy to burn yourself out on crypto and investing content, especially here on YouTube. So remember, the big money is made in long-term trend investments. The money is made in the waiting. Don't day trade, don't gamble. Just understand that these trends can take a lot of time to develop, even in crypto. And spending all your time listening to people panic every other day on YouTube or X can really cause you to burn out and potentially sell way too early. So take a vacation from social media and recenter yourself. I got a video that I recently made about why you should invest for the long term. The thumbnail looks like this, and I have a link down in the description if you would like to watch it. So remember, don't let these over-the-top bearish videos push you into selling too early. Skip the panic, stick to the plan, listen to the data, and focus on the long game. Okay? Have you ever been burned by clickbait crypto videos? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. Now, if you want to learn more about the different types of investing I find passionate talking about, take a look at this other video from yours truly, or check out my channel right over here to take a look at all the other investing content I post about. Now, that's all for me today. I'm Patrick with Apex Wealth Collective. Take care and see you guys in the next video.